Welcome back to Ducktales Remastered. So yeah, now that we've gotten all the Beagle Boys out of our money bin, it's time to go on a trip so we can find all the treasures.
We already did that. We went.
Yeah, remember we started with the Amazon.
Oh yeah, we did. That's right.
We did already the Amazon, and now we're about. I think we're doing the chronological. We're doing Transylvania.
Yeah,
which
right.
has one of my favorite Jake Kaufman remixes of the game.
We're off to Transylvania, and we're no coming back without the coin of the lost realm.
That reminds me, Hotel Transylvania 3 is actually looking pretty good. Which is one of the few good things to come from Sony and Adam Sandler these days.
Well, Jumanji was good.
Wait, Adam Sandler was in it?
No, I'm on about Sony.
That was Sony?
Yeah, Jumanji Sony.
Was it Columbia Pictures?
Yeah.
Really? The same Columbia Pictures that's bringing us a Daphne and Velma live-action movie.
Cutscene.
Yeah.
They're doing a what now?
I'll explain later.
Dracula's Manor.
I just realized, why is Webby with us now?
Because she wanted to... this is again to the show, Jova. In the show, a lot of times she would just bicker until she would...
They just picked her up along the way.
A lot of times Webby would want to come in on adventures because she was always...
I get that. I'm just talking about how she kind of popped in out of nowhere.
She just can.
Oh, hold on. Because of course it says there.
Yeah.
Funny, that sounds more like the origin of Lady Dracula, but I digress.
You mean Carmilla?
Yeah, Camilla. Basically, you know, real-life woman, serial murderer, drank her victim's blood, bathed in their blood, got her the nickname Lady Dracula.
Every time you mention Dracula, my dog barks.
Also, yeah, Scrooge is very skeptic.
Really? Scrooge, can you afford to be skeptic in a universe like yours where you've had at least 3 mystical encounters and one of your main enemies is an insane witch
it's funny because usually in the comics it's Goofy the character who's the most skeptic about mystic stuff.
Is that common for Scrooge, being skeptical?
More like, well,
it depends
that's
on the circumstance.
It's more of an exaggeration of one trait that he has, also in the comics, more of a cynical view on life in general.
Yeah, the reboot got a good compromise.
It's a typical trait of people who are getting old.
I'd say the best version is the reboot, which comes to a good compromise. He acknowledges that a lot of this mystical stuff happens, but he treats it nonchalantly enough.
I am afraid of no ghost, yeah.
I mean, we're a bunch of talking ducks after all.
And we're about to see that. Actually, we have actually.
And charging guns blazing. Congratulations.
And there we go.
That could have gone better.
Surprisingly, it was the boys who got in trouble instead of
No,
Webby.
they probably did.
Yeah, but they got in trouble trying to go after Webby, who was looking for trouble. Maybe she should come with you, just to be safe.
Oh, no.
Also, another great remix from Jake Kaufman.
Okay, Jake Kaufman. Thank goodness, because believe it or not, this remix has dubstep, and it's not cringeworthy. Granted, nowadays, dubsteps that aren't cringeworthy are more common, but back in the day when this game came out, dubsteps were...
Yeah, whoop whoop,
I'm still not a fan of dubstep even now.
Well, they're better now, but I wouldn't blame you for being very skeptical of them.
There's a reason why I don't listen to J-pop. It's full of that stuff, from what I can tell.
Depends.
So why do you like K-pop then, Shiroi? Because that also is dubstep.
A lot of the music I listen to doesn't actually have it in it.
K-pop without dubstep? Huh, that'd be a first.
Okay, to put it simply, you'll mostly find dubstep in a lot of the surprisingly in a lot of rap group songs, and I don't really listen to rap, so
pop tends to go hand in hand with rap, even though they're technically 2 different things.
Yeah.
Also, so despite these originally being a Capcom game, this level acts pretty much like a Castlevania level.
Yeah.
Complete with skeleton enemies that get destroyed in 2 hits.
Wouldn't surprise me. Capcom...
Even the mermen are present later on, as we're gonna be show that are akin to their counterpart in Castlevania, and the ghost kind of moves like the Medusa heads. So
Scrooge, about there being no such thing as ghosts, well, how about skeletal ducks, actual ghosts, and later mummy ducks? Straight ripped out of the original game, too.
Yep.
And I really mean it, too, as in, like, believe it or not, the defeat animations are literally spot on. It's like, literally, if they wrapped up the original game models into, well, nice, higher polygonal or better rendered models like this. In fact, if I recall correctly, they mentioned in an interview that's kind of what they did.
In this case, higher quality sprites, but yeah, I get what you mean.
I forgot, Pedro, which game they actually based on this particular style for the sprites? There was one that WayForward used this before.
This game is using WayForward's typical engine, the same engine that they're still using to this day.
He's asking about the sprites.
Yeah, you told me that there was a game that they started with a specific game using this particular one.
Well, it wasn't. I mean,
was it like a Boy in His Blob or something?
Yeah, Boy in His Blob is definitely the same engine as well. Yeah, A Boy in His Blob by WayForward, Jova.
Oh, I get that.
It was the game that it was the game that Sean Valesco made before he at WayForward before he left it to found the Yacht Club
Games.
Yeah.
Nice.
Originally, I think it was a Wii exclusive, but then it got ported over everything.
Yeah, it's been actually remastered for everything else now.
Speaking of Yacht Club
surprisingly
games,
not on the Switch and Wii U yet, even though it was originally a Wii game.
I know, right?
Yes, Jova?
Speaking of Yacht Club games, man, they are incredibly gifted to still have this much mileage going off of one game in their repertoire. I mean, to the point where they have enough money to have been the producers. I forgot. They were able to allow something to be released physically. Oh yeah, Shantae Half Genie Hero to be released physically, as they would.
Well, that's why they're getting like the complete edition or something, right?
Well, my point is, like, I mean, Yacht Club Games have made so much money off of one game that they were able to be the producers.
How did you get there?
He was captured too.
Go figure.
There you go.
These ghosts are very specific and totally not disguising at all.
Well, these ghosts are a bit different from the other ones. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, Yacht Club Games have apparently gotten enough money off of one game to be able to be, well, a producer.
Oh.
Of course.
Hey, that wasn't a ghost at all. It was a beetle.
Congratulations, Huey.
I would have gotten away with it too if it had been for that peddly, meddly duck.
And flour dust to
Yeah, what he
frighten off
said.
Scrooge McDuck.
Look, Uncle Scrooge, that beagle boy dropped something. It's an old piece of paper.
Twist me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ancient
Get it? Because he's Scottish.
Hi, lad.
Be glad they doesn't run around blowing a bagpipe every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You might as well be wearing the Scottish flag as a cape.
Well, he doesn't even have a kilt, too, so... But okay, it's Glumgold, the one that has one, so... There's that. Alright, time to get the other two. You were saying, Java?
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, how much money is Shovel Knight making them if they're not only having this much money, but they can literally be the producers for other game companies.
Extra revenue extra revenue for getting him into also other games as a crossover character.
Most of them have been indie, but yeah, I guess they got plenty of money to share.
Yeah.
Again, though, I mean, like, well, they were... Oh, yeah, that's right. They also helped Azure Striker Gunvolt get its physical release. The double pack, no less. And, of course, he shows up in Azure Striker Gunvolt, too.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
In awesome 16-bit rendering!
Well, sorry, but probably the best appearance so far has been in Yooka-Laylee, where he even gets... well, some sort of voice acting.
I don't know, Tio. In Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, you actually get to fight him and speak to him.
Yep.
True.
And he's got an awesome theme remix for that game, too.
Does Shovel Knight has actually an official team for himself? I mean... hold on. I'll tell you more later.
Oh, look. So what
They're
are
really trying... Why are you trying
identical.
Oh no, but now they're teaming up with the real ghosts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, part of the demonic plan, I guess?
Yes. Why not?
I always knew Disney was satanic.
Well, of course, don't you remember all that stuff, like the boner on the priest in Little Mermaid?
Oh, of course. Silly me. Yeah, he wants to eat.
Heebie-jeebies. He was starting to look at me like I was lunch.
I don't want to know the implications.
Well, dogs sometimes do eat.
Well, the Shira can attest, but dog eat pretty much everything.
Yeah, they do.
And then they were all killed and were taken to the nearest Chinese shop and served as aromatic duck.
Korean, please. Korean.
No, Chinese.
That bungle boy did say this house
We have that. Our Chinese has that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, a secret passage.
Yeah, of course.
Men will eat anything that's not her own food.
Good lad.
And that's also the problem. Some of there are
That's how
some food
dogs
we're
are.
not supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, what I was referring to was Shovel Knight as the character. Does he have a character theme for himself?
Yeah, he does. Basically, the main theme from his game.
Oh, okay, the title screen. Okay.
Well, it's the main theme of the game. It also serves as his theme, basically.
True.
And they
Okay.
basically made a remix of it for Ezra Striker Gumball 2. I don't know if Jake Kaufman did the remix in that game. and
It's
if
not
that's
the same that is used for his boss fight during the Plague of Shadows campaign.
Oh, no. In fact, I think they also made a different boss theme for him during the Spectre of Torment one, too.
Actually, you don't fight him there. I can attest that.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I'll admit it's been a while since I played that game because, well,
Let's just say that Spectre of Torment is equally both great and a bit painful because of some elements.
When it comes to Spectre of Torment, I have not yet finished that element, and that element, part of that was because I got stuck on this one mini game, which is a bit frustrating. The tower race where you're going.
I get what you mean.
And I will admit also, I'm a bit put off at the idea that both Spectre Torment and King of Cards are both going to be prequels, and it's weird. They also said that Plague of Shadows was supposed to be a prequel, yet no.
Well, that's the thing. Plague of Shadows seems to be a parallel story that doesn't seem to be fit with the canon, though. I don't know.
It technically does fit with the canon, except for some areas. At least it fits a lot better than Risky's DLC and Half Genie Hero, but that's another topic. My point is, again, I mean, okay, yeah, with Spectre of Torment, I can get that being a prequel, I guess. We see where he goes, except, well, okay.
Hold on.
Oh, never mind. Let's see this.
Watch this. Part of the
Yeah.
spell matches the inscriptions.
But it's not all.
Gee, I wonder who's behind all this. I mean, there's magic mirrors, there's parts of a spell. I wonder who could be behind all this. We're in Transylvania, for crying out loud.
It's clearly El Capitan, don't you know?
Okay. To be fair, the Transylvania bit, that doesn't have to do with the character, but...
Not just that, though. Isn't this remaster kind of pulling you a bait and switch because originally you were supposed to fight the Count Dracula here?
Yes, indeed.
Very good, too.
So yeah, they did their own spin on things.
Although, if I recall correctly, isn't the boss you fight also originally here too?
It's like
In the original, actually, that's a good segue, Joe. If you'll allow
Let's
me.
not spoil who the boss is just yet, but by all means, Pedro, go on.
It's interesting you say that, Joe, because in the original NES game that you can get in the Disney Afternoon Collection that was released last year, they reused Transylvania for the last level.
Well, I know that. I mean, I was.
I'm saying it for the audience, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Basically, I think it's because apparently the developers ran out of time or something. So
it had to do again with the Metroidvania angle and how they were kind of going for the. Well, believe it or not, back in the day, that was what was considered open world for a platformer in the day.
Yeah.
So I can sort of see why they were doing it. It was ambitious. Revisiting worlds made it feel like a world and whatnot. Anyway, but yeah, obviously they changed that for this remake.
Yeah, WayForward created a brand new level that is in fact it's actually a place that is both familiar for Ducktales fans and comic book fans because. Because it
has my favorite track in this game.
Coolio.
Well, they had to create the new one specifically.
And who better but Jake Kaufman for that job?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Tio, you were saying about Spectre of Torment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I love the gameplay of Spectre of Torment because of what it does, the spin to things. But I feel first that it's a bit short on the side, especially most likely compared to the other two. And it uses some plot elements that I'm not really fond with, but mainly the character of Reze.
Oh, I have not gotten to that point, but I've heard mixed
It's a kind of worms, Joe. I just say that the internet is not really fond of him, and even the club games didn't really like him in the long run.
Although I will say, though, it doesn't help that the screen title for Spectre of Torment kind of gives away you-know-who in relation to him. It's like, really,
to be fair, I still really like the story of Spectre of Torment. It takes some interesting risks. You think you're going in a specific direction, but then no, it ends actually on a note that you're not expecting. So it's really pretty ballsy for the developers.
I'm not going to give any final judgments because I've not finished it yet. I guess my main fear of it being a prequel is because, well, the obvious... Oh!
Pedro, come on!
I was about to say a downer ending, but there you go. Thank you, Pedro.
Point exactly.
And then Scrooge died.
Yeah, is Vera King's Quest line fitting for that? I don't know. Your life came crashing down, maybe? I don't know.
I guess Scrooge didn't learn how to duck while he was training.
There you go. But yeah, bottom line, with Jova, I'm waiting King's Knight campaign by the time of his recording.
Wait till the gang in Sing Sing finds out you were knocked flat by an old guy and his cane.
Shameful display.
You know, not for nothing, Louie, but anyone who knows what Scrooge has done would not scoff at that.
Oh, yes.
Get it? Because he's big.
Yep.
Quick, lad, see if there's a scrap of paper lying about.
This, you know, this seems a bit coincidental, Uncle Scrooge.
Piece of the riddle.
What to do?
That's what I'm about to find out. Quick, lad, go meet Webby and the others at the entrance. And all of you.
Just make your way for all the top platforming, somehow ride the minecart back upwards, and
I'm pretty sure, Joe, that the Junior Woodchuck guy has a guide for that.
Probably. Silly me, I forgot. The Junior Woodchuck guy knows it all, don't it, Pedro?
Yeah.
There you go. I wonder, Shiroi.
Yeah?
Does the Junior Woodchuck Guide answer the greatest mystery of all?
What?
pronouncing that stupid Welsh city's name.
Lump or whatever.
Well, to be fair, even Glibs knows how to do that now.
And it's Glibs.
Knows how to do what?
Pronounce the name of that city from Wales, which you managed to do.
Well, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but I come pretty close.
No, Dweebs, you actually got it right during our Uncharted 3 part, remember?
No, I don't think I got it right exactly. I came close, though.
I've never seen you be so critical of yourself, but anyway, even if it's not you, we still have that reporter guy. But anyway, I was about to ask, does the Junior Woodchuck Guide answer the greatest mystery?
Well, opposite that weather reporter is Welsh himself.
Anyway, Shiroi, does that Woodchuck Guide... Yeah, God. Does it answer the greatest mystery of all? Girls and their liking of Twilight.
Don't ask me about that, okay?
How did you get there, Miss Beakley?
Because she's omnipotent.
Well, of course she's omnipotent. She's voiced by Wendy Lee.
Now, see, if this was a reboot, she'd just be here to kick the door in because she's that dang strong.
Here, well, Joe, we need to, get accustomed to what this was based on.
No. I'm fine with it. And again, I still like the original Mrs. Beakley. It's just the reboot one is so much
more like, in a sense, but the original Miss Beakley was just there. She wasn't essentially a bad character per se. She was just present.
And I guess the reboot
makes
the purpose
of the stereotypical nice butler woman.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it was meant to be stereotypical. It's like, well, I mean, obviously, they had a different idea for her at the time, and she did actually get to have some awesome moments. Again, it's just the Mrs. Beakley of now, considering both her voice actress and her role, she's just so much more awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Who voices her in the reboot?
I haven't checked.
God, I'm such a fan of her, and I forgot her name.
I'm gonna check, don't worry.
Some fun, man.
Come on, Dweebs.
Well, Dweebs, you've actually forgotten about Tom Cruise at times.
No, I haven't. How can you forget Tom Cruise because of all the stories he's been in?
That one time you forgot that he was the main protagonist of
That's
Iron
something that sounds very difficult to do.
I didn't forget he was in it. I just didn't expect a guy, an actor like Tom Cruise, to be in a Stanley Kubrick film.
I'm in love with Kitty Holmes. I'm in love with Kitty Holmes. I'm in love with Kitty Holmes.
Has he ever lived that down yet?
No,
oh, wait,
he never will, Jova.
My reaction to Cruise being in the Kubrick movie is probably the same as everyone else's before the film came out.
Jova.
Mr. Cruise, please come out of the closet.
Exactly. It's about time you come out of the closet, Mr. Cruise.
Anyway, me speaking, the reboot is placed by Tox Olangandoi, whatever. I never heard of her.
That's her name.
Well, let me copy-paste it from Wikipedia.
Her name is one Tio can't pronounce.
I mean, that's weird because I'm usually good with pronunciation, but sometimes I get, you know.
We all mess up every day.
She was in some crime TV series like Law and Order, CSI New York, or NCIS.
Oh, right. Now I remember where I remember her from. She was also on Neighbours.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, I know there's a Law and Order UK, but one of those CSI UK.
I'm pretty sure
that's up to Jerry Bruckheimer, believes.
Oh, now I remember. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
What was she doing? Let me check.
She was on the TV show.
I've checked. There isn't one.
And she's also in Steven Universe. Now I remember. She is Nana Fuya.
Who? Okay.
The grandmother.
I don't think I've got there.
Of the pizza
either that or I've forgotten.
Of course.
Joy? Joy?
She's weird, I think.
She's unavailable right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, it's only now to get...
she's the grandmother for the pizza family thing.
Yeah, she owns the pizzeria, whatever.
She's now the mayor of Beach City.
Oh yeah, I haven't got to remember past season 2. Oh,
Jova, spoilers, man.
Whatever, I'm not spoiling much for you on that.
No, I know. I would have complained more, don't worry, in case. Besides, Dweebs, there are only a couple of products who I decided to not spoil myself voluntarily. Anyway, hold on, time to get to the mirror, finally.
Look up the ducks. I solved the riddle.
He cracked the code.
The riddle being 3 pieces of paper.
They did stay with me, Uncle Scrooge. I'm right here.
Loophole, only in a Disney product.
Of course.
Aye, lass. And if I'm right, using this spell will reveal the foul perpetrator behind all these shenanigans.
Are you sure about that?
Plot twist, it was Scrooge all along.
So yeah, I wonder who's the true perpetrator.
Let's see.
Maybe it's
Magica the Spell. Once again, for the very last time, played by the late June Foray.
So let's see. One of Scrooge's main enemies is from Italy. Theo, does Scotland and Italy have any rivalries?
No, not that I know.
Making a fool of yourself.
What?
I'm guessing this was just Carl Barks. Like he wanted Magica. He wanted Magica to be like.
I can tell you that witches and gypsies mythos are based partially around Italy, like for example with the character of Rose from Street Fighter. So making Magica a witch coming from there makes a bit of sense in that case, I guess.
Speaking of which, without spoiling, I gotta say I like how they're building up to Magica Dispel in the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a rather special way that, I'll admit, I wasn't expecting. What about you, Pedro?
Me neither.
So in case you don't know, Magica is a very straightforward villain. She's a witch and she wants very desperately Scrooge's #1 dime for different reasons. Sometimes she wants eternal life, sometimes she wants immense rich material, or sometimes wants it.
I remember once.
In most cases, it's about being able to turn things to gold using his #1 dime.
It depends on the author.
Yeah.
Yes, Pedro?
I remember once I read a comic where she actually got the coin in its at one point. And apparently, there was some kind of process where she had to put the coin in her cauldron. And the cauldron was supposed to turn gold in contact with the coin. Like
it's a process similar to the one with Philosopher's Stone. Yeah.
kind of. All right.
That's weird because I remember distinctly one of the story of Karl Barks, you know, Major the Life at the time of Scrooge McDuck, where Scrooge specifically states there is nothing special about the number one dime. That seemed talking about, so maybe he's just convinced of that.
Yeah, there are some hintings that his dime may actually just be worthless. She doesn't know that yet. It varies.
Again, stuff that depends on the offer.
Speaking of which, fans of the shows will appreciate this boss fight because it pretty much incorporates a lot of her trademark abilities, ability to shapeshift, produce fire lasers, of course use mirrors.
And it functions like a Mega Man boss, which is fits with the Capcom publishing.
Yeah, so Pedro, remind me, was her boss fight also... Okay. I know that her boss fight was in the original, but I'm forgetting. Was her boss fight like this well in depth? Because if I recall correctly, in the original game, it's just the vulture and...
Yeah. They changed... They upgraded the boss battles, if you might say. Like, they added a few extra stuff to it, yeah.
Yeah, magical is, I believe, the most, because if I recall correctly, her main thing was just turn into a vulture and mirrors. I don't recall the lasers...
Or the fire columns.
No.
Again, though, it fits. It fits.
Go.
It really does.
Yowps. Here we go.
But yeah.
I forgot even mention, but it's also a good thing the fact that the bosses don't fall into the traditional Nintendo, Mario-like 3 hit point and that's it. These actually put up an actual challenge even in easy modes.
There we go.
Prepare your mirror and beam spells. It's the last time I shop for spell ingredients at discount store.
I can only take so many pogo hits to the head after all.
You may have coin of Lost Realm, but your number one dime will soon be mine.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I know because I rhymed.
So she like Gruntilda.
And we got the treasure we came here for.
Yay!
The coin of the Lost Realm.
It's clear.
No. If you try to do Super Bomberman R, it should be like, stage clear!
Well, you can go for the Metal Slug route and go, mission complete!
Or you could go for the smash run bout of completed.
Yeah, Xander Mobius has a fantastic voice.
I know, right?
It's weird hearing him like how he sounded in Persona 5.
Yeah, he has a good range.
What few lines he
Anyway,
had.
hold on.
It's hard to say, lad. Folks like her have a way of popping up at the most inconvenient moments.
Foreshadowing!
Well, she's a witch, so yeah.
Convenient moment.
Too true.
Ha.
Now, where to next, lads?
Alright, so where to next?
Well, we'll find out in the next part.
I think it's the African mines, but we'll see.
Yeah,
It's the mines.
Alright, see you everybody.
See ya.